Welcome back to another emission of Let's Debate with Gael and Sophie. Hello everyone, I'm here with Gael and today we will debate about human rights. Our research question is, does the definition of human rights differ between cultures? I will be giving a perspective of an Anglophone culture and Gael of Mexico. Please Gael, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Gael Vidal. The topic that we will delve into today are the issues that happen every day in our society. Today, we will focus our attention on human rights in Mexico. We all know that Mexico is a wonderful country, rich in culture and not to mention its delicious food. Everybody loves their food. It's amazing, but it also has another face. Mexico is facing great challenges regarding the respect for human rights. And this is a very interesting topic to talk in this podcast. Freedom of expression in Mexico faces obstacles because journalists are strongly attacked or threatened for saying their ideas, especially when it comes for political ideas. This not only happens with the media, but also affects public discourse and the exchange of ideas in the society. And another idea is the obstacle of access to justice, especially in marginalized areas, because in Mexico issues such as corruption constitute an obstacle to guarantee justice in the courts and ensuring respect for human rights. What do you think?
It's really interesting how much oppression we as a country have normalized, don't you think?
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to believe, but now tell me, what is the other side of the coin? Tell me about this other country.
I will give the perspective of Eritrea, an East African country where the basic human rights are completely different from countries like USA or United Kingdom. Also, before I continue, I would like to make an emphasis on how even though Eritrea isn't a fully English-speaking country, I couldn't find a better example since in most of Anglophone countries there exists a basic structure that protects human rights established by the ONU. Moving on, Eritrea is a place fully ruled with an iron fist, and the possibility of a change in the governmental structure is not an option, since their so-called elections are and have been delayed indefinitely. Also, there are no other political parties rather than the current one, and there is media suppressing the country. All these are obviously in the violation of the rights like equality, freedom of speech, the right to move in and out of the country, etc. I also saw that once the football team went to Kenya to participate in a tournament, and they decided not to come back to Eritrea because of this exact situation.
What a really hard situation, don't you think?
Absolutely! It's incredible how now, in our century, we still have these kind of situations. And here is where our other question pops up. Is it ethically correct to force a country into changing its human rights? What do you think, Gail?
Yes, I think that the interpretation of human rights can vary and change depending on the area and different cultures. While there is a universal declaration of human rights, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is an application of the ONU, the application of these rights can be influenced by cultural, historical, and political context. But my opinion on this question is that I think that it's very important that at the same time an obstacle is to find a balance that respects cultures and traditions, but at the same time they respect all the human rights that a person has and to live in a healthy society, as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says.
Wow, sure it's an interesting point of view to all our listeners out there.
What do you think about this?
I don't fully agree with your posture here, Gail, since I have the idea that the evolution and history of a country are reflected in these kind of details, where you can see the complexity of the current situation that all the populations are living in. Nonetheless, it's not like I fully agree with the situation of countries like Eritrea or so much other countries that have this kind of situation, Just that I believe that if we force them, then there can also be a counterpart saying that now they cannot fully express their control. I think it's a hard situation because it might seem like the correct idea, it's just to force them into it, but it's much more complex than that to my point of view.
Well, sure, it's a complex and difficult situation. It was a pleasure doing this podcast with you.
Thanks. I'm so honored that you were able to come and record with me. We salute everyone out there who's listening to us and we say good night.
Bye everyone. See you next time.